The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, to my left, we got a man that really needs no introduction, for he is known the world over. It's the one, it's the only, it's Pops.
Welcome to True School Sports and evening talking boxing.
So yeah, man, a long day today for your boy BT, man. I went to the Trevor Bryan Dubois press conference. So look, for those tuning in, you guys will get the early notifications early. I got 6 interviews that are going to come out within the next couple days. We got an interview with Stacey McKinley, Daniel Dubois, Trevor Bryan, Larry Holmes, Steve Bunce, and Barry McGuigan.
Wow.
So all that coming out on the channel real soon. I didn't get a chance to catch the press conference. I got there late, but I got the interviews. That's the important thing. So looking very forward to that fight this weekend, because it's a good heavyweight fight. It's a fight that actually has some relevance, and I think, I'm not going to say too much, but I did have the opportunity to go watch Trevor Bryan train after the press conference. And I got to say, man, I'm not saying this to be biased, nothing like that.
Yeah.
But literally,
he was good.
He did some shit. He did a couple things in the gym today I never seen him do.
Larry Holmes, baby.
He's a 7-1 underdog right now. I think this fight's a lot closer than 7-1. I'm not saying he's gonna win.
Yeah.
But if you think he's unprepared for this fight, if Dubois can't hurt him in the first couple rounds and get him out of there, Dubois gonna have a real fight on his hands. Make no mistakes about it. So all that. Also, guys, before I get into the subject of this particular live, we have a poll going on in our community post. Now, I'm going to be covering the fight Saturday night for Trevor Bryan and Dubois, because it's right here in Miami, so it's right off the road. I'll be there. But Pop is going to be here. He's going to go live for a fight. Me and him are having a hard time deciding which fight to go live for. So we're giving you guys, the viewers, a chance to vote which fight Pops goes live for. Jaime Munguia, Jimmy Kelly, Edgar Berlanga versus Angulo, or Trevor Bryan versus Daniel Dubois. Whichever fight wins the poll by at the end of Saturday afternoon, something like that. That's who he'll be going live for. So you guys have a chance.
If I have time to go to another fight, then I will switch over. But I'll go with the main card you guys want.
Yeah. So you guys have a chance to actually influence which fight gets covered here on True School Sports Weekend. So make sure you guys go vote in our poll. Now let's acknowledge some comments, and then let's get to the subject of the live. So, hey, Susem, saludos, what's good, champ? Good to see you. Hope all is well with you, champ. Hip hop vibes, he says, with them hands. Yeah, shout out to you, champ. Hope all is well. BT, what major improvements for Berlanga, or will Top Rank cut him? I don't think Top Rank's gonna cut him as long as he's winning. He'll only be at risk to get cut if he loses a fight, because the reality is, as long as the gravy train is rolling and he's winning fights, he still has a chance to become the next Puerto Rican star, no matter how pedestrian he looks, because at the end of the day, the name of the game is to win. But he's going to need a good performance this week against Angulo. And look, Angulo, he's lost to the elites like Benavidez and Zuro, but he's beaten guys that that weren't elite, like Anthony Sims. Wow. So this fight's good because it's going to tell us exactly where Edgar Berlanga's at.
Yeah, exactly. And I think still, in my opinion, it's a step-up fight for him, in my opinion.
And right on cue, West Coast Barber with the Benavidez comments. Why aren't you talking about Morrell's team ducking Benavidez? Because Dave Morrell and Dave Benavidez ain't fighting this weekend. I'm worried about Trevor Bryan, Dubois, Munguia versus Jimmy Kelly, and whatchamacallit. What's the other guy? Berlanga versus Angulo. That's what's going on. I'm focused on what's in front of me. But to address that before, so you don't say, oh, well, he doesn't want to talk about it because it's not convenient. Okay. Morrell is not ducking Berlanga. Morrell is calling out Benavidez. It's Ronnie Shields. Ronnie Shields wants to get him a fight or two more because he only got 7 fights. So we'll see what happens. Let's just hope that when the time comes, your boy Samson doesn't back out like he's been doing with everybody else.
Real quick, I was watching an interview on High Fight Hype with Benavidez Sr. where they were talking to him and they asked him about the Morrell and so forth with Benavidez, and he was just like, well, I don't think he's ready. And honestly, I respect what Ronnie Shields because that's his team. But honestly, I give a fuck what Senior says about who Benavidez should fight or not fight, because that's not their place to tell the other fighter who he should fight.
West Coast says he made a whole video on Morrell's nuts. Well, okay, I made one video. Every fucking comment you ever made on this channel has been on Dave Benavidez's nuts, so I guess we're equal. God bless. Your thoughts on Golden Boy might be up for sale or partner up. Well, look, Oscar's been promoting for a long time. Maybe he wants to just move into another phase of his life. I did see that report. I haven't had a chance to I haven't had a chance to really.
What happened?
Oscar's talking about selling Golden Boy Promotions because he said he's sitting on $1 billion company. So
listen, I don't put nothing past De La Hoya. He says one thing one day, he'll just do another.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
He's very not dissected from inside in boxing. He's not very that stepping stone that makes the straight decision. So don't count on that.
He said a fight or two more. Yeah, he has 7 fights. So when if your boy Benavidez were to actually beat him, right? Which I have questions about that, but if he were, people would just say he beat a guy with 7 fights, and then he wouldn't get credit. So you don't want your guy to get credit. You should want your guy to get credit. Anyway, let's pivot away from Benavidez.
Thank you for your comment, though.
For a little bit, I'll get to more comments in a second. I want to really just get into the subject of this live, and I'll get to the other comments soon enough. If you really want me to get to the comment, just super chat me, and I'll stop what I'm doing, and I'll talk about whatever you super chat. But till then, let's get to the live. So we got 3 fight cards this weekend. We got go on DAZN. We got Jaime Munguia versus Jimmy Kelly in what on paper looks like a big mismatch, but we'll see when they fight. You got Edgar Berlanga versus Angulo in a crossroads fight of sorts, a fight that's going to reveal some things about Berlanga. And then you got Trevor Bryan versus Dubois, a fight that's looked at to be a mismatch, but I don't quite see it that way, and I think it's going to be a good heavyweight scrap. Munguia, Berlanga, Trevor Bryan, these are all guys that they're fighting for a lot more than a title or ranking position this week. They're all fighting for respect and relevancy in the sport. They're all fighters from different places. They're all fighters that get criticized by boxing fans for different reasons, and I kind of wanted to talk about that, their fights, and just kind of the whole weekend at large. So we'll start with Jaime Munguia, right? Because I think he's the guy out of all these guys that has probably been him and Berlanga. Those are the 2 guys that are the most criticized, right? So Munguia, he's fighting a guy in Jimmy Kelly who, if you look at his resume, Jimmy Kelly's biggest fight was years ago when he challenged Liam Smith for the WBO title. Okay. And Liam Smith folded him up like a blue steel chair, beat the shit out of him, stopped him, right? Other than that, he's been a domestic level British fighter. Good little boxer, but light punching, textbook British boxer. Yeah. And he had the biggest win of his career. His last fight when I was there. Yeah. You weren't there. You were in the city, but when he fought Kanat Islam, who was ranked, that was the guy that I always thought Munguia would fight for a vacant title. But now he's fighting. He's fighting the guy who beat Kanat Islam. So my theory is proven true. Munguia's fighting for a lot in this fight. I know it's a fight that he's supposed to blow this guy out, and he should, right? Floyd Mayweather always said, every fight plays a major key in a fighter's career. You can't get to the world title fight, and you can't get to the world championship fights if you don't win the fights that are in front of you. And I'm very big on that. Like I'm always very, your pops will tell you, I'm very big about, like, we can't be talking about other fights if we got a fight scheduled. Win that fight, then talk about that fight. On to the next. So I think for Munguia, I've criticized him a lot. I truly believe he's the most protected fighter in boxing today, more than anybody. Like anybody, he's more protected than the guys that you guys think I hate. I'm not gonna name them, but all the fighters you guys think I hate on. All right, he's more protected than all those guys because this is a guy that won a world title in 2018 against Saddam Ali. Granted, Ali had a title, but Saddam Ali really wasn't like a real 154 pounder. Okay, since then. He's had some controversial fights. He has done some improvements, but there still seems to be a reluctancy to fight the upper echelon guys, the Andrades, the Charlos, the Johnny Becks. And he's had opportunities to fight some of those guys. So if he's not going to be fighting those guys, when he has these fights against the Jimmy Kellys of the world, Munguia has to look nothing short of spectacular or he will be under heavy criticism. Yeah, he's going to come out there and, no disrespect to Kelly, but he's going to come out there and show out and win. Was devastating and win big to continue to have the backing of his fans and everything to continue to his road to where he wants to get at. Yeah, and he like I said, Kelly is a tailor-made fighter for him. If Munguia can't defend the jab and can't cut the ring off, then he'll somehow find a way to make this fight competitive. But I think Munguia has improved. We saw that in the Demetrius Ballard fight. Ballard's a guy that's a good boxer who doesn't have a whole lot of power with him, but we saw he was able to get him out of there in 2 rounds. So that's respect to Munguia. He is getting better, whether we want to acknowledge that or not. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he beats Jimmy Kelly, I think it has to be finally time, because I believe this was Jaime Munguia's 40th fight in the pros already. Because he's a Mexican fighter, not a big amateur background, so like the first 20 fights, 15 fights are basically learning fights, because they don't have that amateur experience. Coming from Mexico, turning pro. So I'm hoping. Listen, I'm seriously hoping that if he wins this fight against Jimmy Kelly, which I fully believe he will, we need to see him versus Johnny Beck. For better or for worse, Andre don't really seem like he want to fight Johnny Beck. That's on him. You guys know the deal. I told you, if push comes to shove and he can't get those big fights against Plant, Benavidez, Charlo, them guys, then he's fight Johnny Beck. If he doesn't fight one of those 3 guys and then doesn't fight Johnny Beck, he's gonna be under so much. You guys think you guys think I was hard on Canelo and Benavidez and these guys? Let Andre fight someone outside of those 3 big names and not fight Johnny Beck. And I'm not allowed to say.
So you're basically saying if Andre or Munguia doesn't get the big fights, either one of them should be fighting
Johnny Beck. Yeah, because they're both in position. Andre's champion, right? He's got a mandatory that a lot of people believe will be a tough fight for him.
Right.
You got, from the Munguia side of things, he was actually ordered to fight him for the interim title, right?
Not many
moons ago, this year.
Okay.
And his team refused to take the interim fight, and that's how we got Johnny Beck versus Danny Dignam.
Oh no shit.
That's how we got that fight. Because it was interim, and then he didn't want to take that fight. So look, Munguia, go out there, look sensational. Go out there, keep showing those improvements, keep drumming up interest for your career, so that when you get a big fight, it's as big as possible. But after this fight, you gotta finally step up.
You and Andre,
and Andre.
Nobody's getting paid.
No one's getting favoritism here. Okay, I'm sick of this middleweight division. Ain't nothing happening. Nobody's fighting nobody. You got freaking Sergio Martinez ranked number 3 in the WBA. You got Jason Rosario, who we haven't seen since he got knocked out by Charlo, who had 2 fights in the Dominican Republic. He's ranked top 15 in the WBA as well. So the middleweight division is in shambles. We need someone. I don't care who it is. It could be Jamal Charlo. It could be Munguia. It could be Andre. Maybe it'll be Johnny Beck. All right, but somebody just needs to step up and bring some prestige back to the middleweight division. This is one of the original 8 weight classes in boxing, and when you fight in one of the original 8 weight classes in boxing, there's a lot of prestige. There's a lot of honor. There's a lot of the great things that come with fighting these weight classes, and when you're a champion in these weight classes, you have big responsibilities.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. I know one thing that you really like about Munguia is that you said changing his training has really improved him a lot. You see a lot of improvement in him. So with those improvements, we always want to see bigger steps and stepping up to bigger fights. Yeah,
because early on in his career, he was trained by Oscar De La Hoya's former trainer, Robert Alcazar, who trained De La Hoya, I think, in the Olympics and then for parts of his early pro career. Then now recently he switched to Eric Morales, which I think has been one of the most beautiful and magnificent things to happen to his boxing career. Because I'm going to tell you this, the Munguia that I saw in the Rosado fight, in the Ballard fight, these last couple of fights, versus the Munguia I saw in the Dennis Hogan fight, in the Takashi Inoue fight, is a difference to me. It's a big difference as far as how he's developed over the years. So Munguia's got a lot to prove this weekend. So you got him. So those are my thoughts on Jaime Munguia versus Jimmy Kelly. And best wishes to Jimmy Kelly. I'm not trying to shit on him. He's a fighter like anybody else, trying to make a name for himself, try to build a legacy for himself in the sport. And all he did was just beat a ranked opponent to get into this position. I know he didn't, he did what he had to do to get this fight. So now it's Jimmy Kelly's job to go on there and don't just be a footnote on the career, a piss stain on the career of Jaime Munguia. Go in there and really make this a fight and make people remember you and respect the name Jimmy Kelly. So best wishes to him, the warrior from Manchester. But I think Munguia should get him out of there. So you have that fight. Let's get some more comments. Melly, shout out to Melly. Melly says, did you see where David Avanesyan ducked Virgil Ortiz, not sending the contract back and allowing the deadline to pass? It's a bad look. He's ready for the inexperienced Ben, but he's ducking Virgil Ortiz. Well, you know what? I call it poetic justice. If he ducked Virgil Ortiz, good, because Virgil Ortiz was ducking Michael McKinson. So poetic justice. Virgil's gonna have to fight the guy that he should have been fucking fighting in the first place. We shouldn't even have gotten to the David Avanesyan fight. Now, don't get me wrong, Virgil versus Dave Avanesian would have been a really good fight. I was excited about it, but right is right and wrong is wrong. He had a contract to fight Michael McKinson back in March, okay? And I made a big fuss about this on Twitter. Yeah. And when I would bring it up, people would act like I'm in the wrong. They would act like Virgil beat Michael McKinson already. And I said, look, you can say he would beat him, but the reality is he had to sign a contract to fight him. He didn't show up, and he didn't beat him. So stop talking like he beat him, okay? Michael McKinson is going to be Virgil Ortiz's first undefeated opponent who's actually as young as close in age to him, who's a southpaw, okay? And I like this fight more for Virgil because Virgil and Avanesian, that's just two guys that are going to come forward at each other. We've seen that shit a million times in Virgil, okay? We've seen it before. Michael McKinson's a slick boxer, yes, light punching, yes, doesn't do some things great technically, but he's effective in the way he fights for himself. That's why he got to this position to where he can get a fight with Virgil. And Virgil needs to fight southpaws because if he's going to be fighting at that top level, whether it's against Spence, Crawford, or Ennis, he's going to have to know how to deal with that style in the professional ranks. So really good fight. Best wishes to the warrior from Portsmouth, Michael McKinson. And I hope, they're saying that's the next fight. Michael McKinson saying he actually hasn't received any word yet that the fight is happening. Wow. So I can't get too excited yet, but there's that's what I've heard through the grapevine that Virgil Ortiz and Michael McKinson is next. Now, as far as him fighting, then this is poetic justice all the way around the board. Wow. Virgil should be fighting the fucking guy he should have fought in March. Avanesian should fight the guy that's been ducking him that Eddie Hearn and Conor Ben don't want no smoke with. So if that's the scenario that plays out, then a win all the way around the board for boxing. Justice prevails, and I'm just happy about that. So I'm not really bothered about Avanesian versus Virgil getting canceled. Carl Hansen, shout out to him. Salute to BT and Pops. Lucas Brown is taking over the heavyweight division. That's right. That's right.
Well, I could not believe that one.
MAW, shout out to you in the land down under. We got our first super chat of the day from my main man Thomas H. And he said he wants to hear from. Okay, he wants the OG clips. He wants to hear from the sponsors. So don't let me tell you who the sponsors are. Let heavyweight Jarrell Miller tell you who the unofficial sponsors of True School Sports are. Big baby, talk to him. Talk to him, big baby.
Vienna sausage, cinnamon buns, Wonder Bread, Kool-Aid with no motherfucking sugar.
Kool-Aid with no motherfucking sugar.
We do every time.
So there you have it.
And Jamal Miller's coming back, so you might hear that again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. EJJI Fisker says, Trevor Bryan winning. What are your thoughts? Now, here we go. That's the perfect segue to the next fighter who's fighting for some respect and relevancy this weekend. Now, I went to the Trevor Bryan, Daniel Dubois press conference today. Okay, and then I was also privileged to actually be in one of the local gyms here in South Florida to watch Trevor Bryan train and shake out and just, I'm not going to say too much because I can't say too much, right? I was told in confidence to not say much about what they've been doing in the gym. So I will honor the words of Team Trevor Bryan and Stacey McKinley and all those people. But what I'm gonna tell you guys is this: I've been covering Trevor Bryan since 2015 when I first started covering boxing here on True School Sports. Trevor Bryan, I've been watching this motherfucker train for 7 years.
I know.
Okay, 7 years. I'm talking about after he fought Derek Rossi. I'm talking about like all this time when he was fighting nobody's not getting fights. The whole time, okay? I saw him do some things in the gym today I've never, ever seen him do.
Wow.
I'm not going to say what they were.
Yeah.
But he's very prepared for this fight. They left no stones unturned.
So
they moved camp from South Florida to Las Vegas, which since I've been covering Trevor Bryan, they've never done.
Yeah.
So they moved from South Florida to Vegas. They brought Larry Holmes into the camp to give some pointers, okay? Mm-hmm. He already has enough knowledge in the corner with Stacey McKinley, a guy that's been, he's trained the likes of, Povetkin, Tyson, Samuel Peter, and the list goes on and on. Carter Mayorga, Michael Nunn, and the list goes on. Yeah, Mike Tyson, all the list goes on and on. So I think this fight, to me, the way I see this fight, I'm not going to say it's a 50-50 fight, but I think you only give the slight edge to Dubois only because he's more of a proven commodity. Like he fought more live bodies than Trevor. Like he fought Nathan Gorman, he fought Joe Joyce. So you would think, and I think he's younger than him, and it looks like he punches harder, right? From what we've seen so far, right? That's the only reason why I'm making him a favorite. Because I'll tell you this, man. One thing about Trevor is he's very strong-minded, because for him to even have gone through everything he's gone in his career to this point, and be in this position and prepare the way he prepared, it speaks a lot to his character. So go ahead.
And to be honest, people that didn't really respect put a lot of shine on Bryan's name. I mean, everybody's always talking or saying that, never should put shine on his name to where it should be for all the hard work and all the dedication he put in with McKinley. And I think with this fight right here, it could speak a lot of volumes about him. And by you saying, BT, that you've seen him change and you've seen him move,
because I'm gonna be honest, I'm not biased. All right, I'm not biased. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Me and Pops have been in the gym and watched him spar recently this calendar year. Okay, and we were like, okay, he's solid, but he's not like, if he's gonna fight Dubois, he's gonna have to level up. And we weren't like the biggest believers in Bryan based on what we saw early in the gym. But I'm telling you, if you would have been there today, I wish you would have been there today.
I mean, one time, and I was crazy. So I'm probably don't put my tongue back, but I wasn't when he was
sparring Stavern.
And then all the trainers were around and everything. I said, listen, man. And I felt bad because I didn't feel bad because I was in Bryan's corner and I like him and everything. And I was talking now like, he hasn't fucking shown me shit. He hasn't done shit.
No, but
and I was talking bad about Bryan because I didn't see enough for him to open up my eyes. But if BT is telling me that he went to the press conference today and he opened up a new book on Bryan as far as his physique, how he looks, how his motivation, his movements, he's seen like a whole different Bryan. Guess what? You don't know what could happen. You don't know.
It's heavyweight boxing, right? And look, we know Dubois is good, right? And I interviewed. I had a chance to talk to Dan Dubois today. You know what was crazy, Pops? And this really made me feel good today. I walked into the hotel today, right, where the press conference was, and the first person I see is Daniel Dubois.
Oh shit!
So I make my way to Daniel Dubois and I ask him, I'm like, I was gonna ask him for an interview. Before I could ask for an interview, he said, "You're True School Sports." I said, "Yeah, I am. I am True School Sports. Nice to meet you, champ. God bless. What's up?"
You like what?
He watches. He's seen some of the videos, so that was good.
Wow. Respectable.
But it's a good heavyweight fight. Dubois had a very carefully guided career before he fought Joe Joyce. The only really live body I think he fought was Nathan Gorman. He passed the test of flying colors, but the other live body he fought was Joe Joyce, and he got his shit pushed back. Now I interviewed Dubois. He's been saying all the right things, like I've gotten better and I'm a different person now and I'm mentally stronger. But the reality is we don't really know until he gets punched in his mouth how he's going to react, because, I mean, he's had a couple fights since then, but has he really been punched squarely in his mouth and been tested?
He's been across the pond too, right, Brandon?
This is the second time he's been across the pond. Okay. The first time he came across the pond was when he fought on the Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley, was it 2? Undercard. Okay. Yeah, no, not undercard, not Tyron Woodley. The first Tyron Woodley undercard, and the second one. So
he's seasoned.
He's familiar with America. He's been getting some good sparring here down at Mundo Boxing Gym. So he's prepared. He's prepared, and I'll tell you this: when you meet Daniel Dubois, I'm only speaking for myself because I met him today.
If I see him, I'll be like, oh.
It's really hard. It's actually really hard. It's gonna be hard to root against him.
Yeah,
I like both these guys. I'm a fan of both guys. Yeah. It's really hard for me to root against either one of them. Obviously, I'm gonna lean towards Trevor Bryan because that's my guy. Yeah. I'm gonna, this is the guy that the local. I've watched him from the Derek Rossi fight to the promotional issues to me losing faith in his career to now this fight, and now it's like at the 11th hour it looks like he's putting it together. So look, I'm not making no predictions. The only prediction I will make is that you guys, I'm begging you guys, please watch this fight. If you don't got the $30 to get it on Don King TV or whatever, get a stream because this is going to be a good fight. You got two guys who, for their own reasons, are determined to prove to the world that they belong at the top of this heavyweight division or near the top of this heavyweight division. You got Daniel Dubois. People think he's soft. People think all this stuff. He's trying to show that he's the next great UK heavyweight along the lines of Lennox Lewis and Anthony Joshua and fearing these guys.
Right.
Trevor Bryan, people are to take him as some sort of joke. So he wants to show the world that, hey, when you say that there's no American heavyweights, you're wrong. I'm the American heavyweight. So it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Programming reminder for you guys, Friday, I will be at the weigh-in, so expect more content. When this live is done, I have 6 interviews to edit along with exclusive training footage. So just tomorrow, if you don't got post notifications on for True School Sports, do that now because you're gonna get some crazy content these next few days. But
that's good.
As far as Trevor Bryan, right? I wanted to stick with him, right? Because this is about the guys fighting for respect, okay? Because Dubois is the heavy favorite. I've looked at the comments, everyone's saying, once he hits Bryan, this is going to happen and that's going to happen, and that's not happening. It's going to be a good competitive fight. Mm-hmm. Trevor Bryan has been in the shadows for a long time, and I think I don't think I know.
Yeah,
I know Stacey McKinley has done this by design over the years, because his MO, right? Stacey's MO was like, you don't really want to start matching your guys extremely tough till you get to like the contender championship level.
Right.
Trevor hasn't really been at that level. He's there now. He won a version of the WBA regular title or the WBA title, so he's in a great position. But now what this win could do for him is give him what he's been searching for his entire career, which is legitimacy.
Right.
Legitimacy.
Respectability.
You know, I interviewed Larry Holmes today too, the Eastern Assassin. He was there. Shit. I interviewed him for 10 minutes. I interviewed him for 10 minutes, and then I had like a 20-minute conversation with him. About boxing, life, his career. I actually learned something new about his career I never knew today. He taught me something today. So
stay tuned for the video.
Stay tuned for that later on. Wow. But you know, Larry spoke glowingly of Trevor Bryan. Larry liked his jab. Larry thinks he's a very good heavyweight.
Said he had a good jab.
Yeah, but when Larry says it, it's different. Yeah. Because it's Larry Holmes.
Yeah.
He's an assassin. So
yeah.
You know, look, respectable men. They both are. I'm a fan of both.
You like them both. Yeah.
Unbeknownst to me, they both support the channel, which, you know, I didn't know David Dubois was so familiar, but that's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I'm looking forward to it. You know, Trevor Bryan, I think he to make this a very competitive fight and maybe even get him to help him win. I think Trevor Bryan has the right blend of skills, durability, and skills, durability, and self-belief.
And you say this is the best shape you've seen him?
Best shape? No, best shape I've seen him in like 6 years.
Wow.
And when I interviewed him, you got to see when it comes out. When I interviewed him, he was like, "Can you see me now?" And I'm like, he opened his jacket and pulled up his shirt. So I thought he was showing me like his because he has a clothing line. Yeah. I thought, it's called Brave Clothing. I'm like, Brave Clothing? He's like, "Nah, man, not Brave Clothing. I'm in shape. I'm in shape." Like he was
talking junk to you.
He was talking a lot. Yeah. And I don't think it was talk that was trying to puff himself up, and convince himself that he was gonna win. No, this is the kind of talk that you get from when you go to Las Vegas and you know, I'm not gonna. There's so much I want to tell you guys about his preparation. I can't divulge certain information. I was told not to, but this guy is ready. That's one thing I know. I don't know if he's gonna win. I don't know if he's gonna lose. I just know he's fucking ready for this fight.
All you can do is prepare the fighter, and he's got the rest in the ring.
Yeah. So
kudos to him.
That fight's gonna be really good. People are gonna slag this fight off, and I've seen it. You know, people say, "Oh, this is a joke fight" or whatever.
I'm trying to one of the biggest fights.
But the winner of this fight, you guys need to pay attention to this fight, because the winner of this fight could potentially fight the winner of AJ Usyk rematch next. So,
I was reading about that.
So, because you got to remember, Trevor Bryan holds WBA, I believe, was it regular title? Okay, so because he holds the regular title, whoever wins this fight in the eyes of WBA, and remind you, that's all that matters. My opinion doesn't matter. Pop's opinion doesn't matter. The analyst's opinion doesn't matter. All right. In the eyes of the WBA, the winner of this fight will have a legitimate claim to fight the winner of AJ versus Usyk.
That would trump anything from the WBC and all the other sanctioned bodies, right?
Oh, I don't know if it would trump it, but
you know what I'm saying.
I'm saying the winner of this fight, if they don't get the fight right away, they're gonna get it at some point.
That's fact.
That is a fact. Okay. Unless one of them decides to fight someone else and they lose another fight to someone else.
Right.
But I believe whoever wins this fight, what they're probably gonna do is if they can't get the winner of Usyk AJ immediately, they'll literally sit on the title and they will not fight until they get one of those fights, or they'll just fight easy hand-picked opposition and just keep them tuned up and sharp. So
shout out to,
I'm just saying, pay attention to this fight, people. Also, another point that I've been making a lot recently. If Trevor Bryan pulls out the upset, that means Don King is now a major player in heavyweight boxing again. So that's something to look out for.
Hey, country America.
Only in America.
Only in America. I got to run into him. I would love to talk to you.
You probably have it. I think you would have a better interview with Don King than me.
Yep.
I don't have your person. I'm a talkative guy, but you're on a different level. You know? So there's that fight. That fight right there, Bryan versus Dubois, really happy. Make sure you guys go vote on the post and decide on who Pops should go live for this Saturday as well. But let's get some comments before we go to Berlanga. Sure. All right, so we got EJ Edgy Fisker. He says, he knew me. It was insane. It blew my mind. It's like this.
Anywhere you go,
it's been happening a lot recently. I remember the last fighter that recognized me before I met them, right, was Tim Bradley. Tim Bradley knew who I was last year in Orlando. It's been happening with fans on the West Coast a lot.
Yeah.
So hey, I'm a little fake celebrity, so that's cool.
Yeah, man,
I'm a fake little celebrity.
What you're doing. In the UK, they love you.
Yeah. Melly says if Munguia wins, he's got to fight for a belt next, regardless of what champ it is. It's time. And if Berlanga wins, he needs another step up. Jacobs, Rosado, and Caleb Truex makes sense in my opinion. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And throw in right now. This I think John Ryder. I want to see Berlanga versus John Ryder because I'm gonna tell you this. That if he beats Angulo, that's good. But if he fights John Ryder, that's the fight that will that's the fight that's really gonna tell me about Berlanga.
Yeah.
You mean to tell me a southpaw, short, stocky, physically strong, grinds you down. That's the fight I like to see if he can get past this one. But I think a fight with Jacobs would do great business in New York. Rosado does great business in New York, and Caleb Truex is a former world champion who's been in there with the best of them. So those fights make sense too.
BT said those are great comments you made, Molly. Thank you so much. But concentrate on the fight coming up.
No, he made comments about Berlanga, but that's a perfect segue. Frank, I'm gonna address this because people keep asking me about this, and there's a reason why I haven't did a video about this topic. MAW says Frank Sanchez left Reynoso. He didn't officially fully leave Eddie Reynoso. If anybody's actually read the articles and his quotes, he's only leaving Eddie Reynoso for a momentary basis to train with Joe Goossen because Eddie Reynoso is going on vacation. Okay, Eddie Reynoso is going on vacation. Okay. All right. Frank's capable enough to handle himself. Eddie Reynoso needs to figure out what the fuck went wrong with Julio Cesar Martinez, freaking Oscar Valdez, and Canelo Alvarez. Now look, I'm gonna tell Eddie this. Someone can tell Eddie in Spanish, cut this clip up and relay it to Eddie. Nothing went wrong, Eddie. You just fought real fighters. Okay. Yeah. There was no hand-picked opposition. There was no.
You try to cherry pick wrong. You cherry pick going wrong.
You know what I'm saying? So, he even said himself, Eddie Frank Sanchez, that he hasn't ruled out coming back to work with Eddie Reynoso. So he's not officially not fighting with him.
And I understand Frank Sanchez, if he's got a routine of his training throughout the months and whatever, just because his training is good doesn't mean his training stops.
Yeah.
So he has to find somebody that can keep him back, keep him attracted to that. And like you said.
Plus, out of all the Reynoso fighters, he don't fight nothing like a Reynoso fighter. That's why he's winning.
Yeah.
You know? Most of these guys don't really have a jab. This guy's a jab dominant fighter. Right. You know? And if they have a jab, they don't really use it the way they should.
People are just jumping the gun saying that he's leaving without being.
Yeah, a lot of people are just jumping the gun saying he left Reynoso. I want to clarify now. Look, trust me, I don't like Reynoso. I don't like Canelo. You guys know this. Canelo exposed by Bivol. You know, we know the history of this channel. But just have all the facts, people, before you get too excited. No, he said it himself. He will be he hasn't ruled out working back with Eddie Reynoso, but for the moments now, he'll be working with Joe Goossen, which means he'll actually be working with Ryan Garcia, which is kind of funny because Ryan.
Yeah.
So
that'd probably be good for him.
And mind you, there's not a ton of boxing gyms in San Diego because Joe Goossen trains Ryan Garcia in San Diego, which I'm jealous because I love San Diego. Yeah. Listen to anybody who's not from America, if you have a chance to go to one city, don't go to New York, don't go to no damn Chicago. Don't even come to South Florida, okay? I like South Florida. Go to San Diego. It's the most beautiful place in the whole country.
I haven't gone, but I'm gonna have to go one time with my son to go see San Diego.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I never heard my son talk so much.
It's so great, but yeah, there's not a whole lot of gyms in San Diego. So like the closest thing in proximity to Reynoso's gym is Joe Goossen. That's why he chose Joe Goossen. Right. It's a convenience thing. So make of that what you will. Dinosaur Don will be back in the mix. Yeah, that's right. Only in America. True School. Thurman against everybody. I like Keith Thurman. I want to see him back in the ring. I want to see him fight Jaron Boots Ennis. I think Jaron Ennis needs a big fight. And I think if Thurman were to somehow stop that hype train before it gets going, that would be a big statement for him.
But Thurman also said that he's still too young. He wants title fights.
That's what all these guys say. No, all these fighters sound the same. Listen,
when he came back
pay him the money.
He said, I don't want. I'll get a fight with Ennis down the road. But I don't want them right now.
Down the road, this guy fights like once every 24 months. He don't got down the road.
I know.
He needs a fight.
I'm telling you what he has stated.
I know. I like Keith Thurman, but
so that's all you say about Thurman, that he should fight.
I like the Ennis fight. Ennis or Ugas. Something like that. Tycho TV says, "How the fuck are you gonna go on vacation when your fight is in preparation for a fight?" Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you like this, Tycho. Right?
He's right about
this. Is all about follow the money, right? So we know his biggest earner is Canelo, and then not too far after that is Oscar Valdez. Mm-hmm. And then after that is Eddie Ruiz, which I don't even think Eddie Ruiz trains anymore because I think he opened up his own gym.
Did he?
Yeah. So I'm not even sure he's on the team anymore. And then it's Frank Sanchez. So Frank ain't bringing the money. So Eddie's like, look, he ain't bringing me the most money. He's the only guy I've trained this year that's fucking won a fight. So he don't need me. He can go somewhere else to win for a fight. I'm going on vacation.
But I go what he said right there. Was it type TV? I agree with him. It's very disrespectful for him to just like. I was taking your paycheck.
I wonder who he's fighting.
And now
it must be like a tuna, somebody that's not like.
And it goes back to, and I'm gonna say this one, I could be wrong. It goes back to what Garcia was saying. He only showed up for the last Frank Sanchez fight, the night of the fight. So how much respect does he really have for that fighter?
Yeah.
So I agree 100% with you. That's very disrespectful.
Shout out to all 16 of you here. Make sure you guys smash this like button, so YouTube and the algorithms let the people know that we're live right now, and that when we're done, this video gets out to more people because we want the channel to grow. And we appreciate everyone here, but just do us that favor while you're here. Tycho TV says Ryan and Frank are reunited, and it feels so good.
Did you say that?
They are reunited.
They're probably gonna be laughing and shit.
They probably will. Joking about how all these guys got schooled and they won the last, and they actually won the only guys in the agenda won the last damn fights. Yeah, that's crazy. San Diego is beautiful, the most beautiful. I can't wait. I'm literally chomping at the bit.
Wow.
To get back there because it was. I've been there twice this year. One for the first time in March. I went again. Now I went twice in March. I went early March and I went late March.
Yeah. What did it impress you the most? Just the weather, the people. There's got to be something.
Everything. The weather. I had a good experience with people there.
Okay.
The food, everything.
That's very hard for you to say something like that.
It's I never thought I'd say it, but it's the only place I've been to that I actually think
it's like you. It's like you picking out a prospect or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you know.
Yeah. True school. I'd rather see Morrell versus Berlanga, and we'll get to that. But let's talk about Berlanga because we've talked about Munguia, we talked about Trevor Bryan. These guys are all fighting for respect and relevancy in the sport of boxing this weekend. And they have their own things to prove moving forward in their careers. But let's talk about the guy that might have the most out of everybody, because he's probably been under the most scrutiny because he had the biggest microscope on him, because he's actually carrying the hopes and dreams of an entire nation on his back. And that's Puerto Rico, and that's Edgar, a.k.a. the chosen one, Berlanga. Now, this is a guy that literally lit the boxing world on fire. I mean, the guy had the hype of a $10 million fighter when he was on that knockout streak.
16, right?
I think it was it 16 or 17 straight knockouts, all in the first round, mind you.
Yeah.
Then it all came to a screeching halt last year when me and you went to the fight.
Yeah.
When he fought the veteran Desmond Nicholson. Now, he dropped him a bunch of times and won the fight clearly, but
it was a tough fight for him.
It was a tougher fight for him than the other ones. Okay. Then his last two fights, he's been getting, exposed. Marcelo Coceres dropped him, and then Steve Rose was all the way in his bag against him, doing great, outboxing him.
I think for me to get his...
He was lucky that he's the A-side fighter, because a lot of people thought he lost to Steve Rose.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you guys. I think for him to gain respectability, he's got to respect himself and accept himself that he's not fighting to the caliber that he should be fighting for. And one way he does that, if he respects the sport enough to make the changes and for himself for success, to make the changes he needs to make to be the better boxer. So that's what I want to see from him first. If I can see that, then I can say, okay, you got more of my respect now than you did just going for knockouts. Until I see that, I still got him way down here for me.
Now, this fight with Angulo is going to be a fight for Berlanga. Like I said, Angulo has lost to only elite of the elite fighters. He went the distance with Zuro when Zuro was WBO champion at 168. He fought Dea Benavidez, and Benavidez, I believe, stopped him in 9 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So he's lost to those guys. But when he fought a hyped-up prospect, Anthony Sims Jr., who many people were touting to be a future super middleweight champion,
right?
He didn't. It wasn't an impressive fight. It was actually one of the worst fights on that card.
Oh shit!
Yeah. But nonetheless, he got the upset because he had a guy in front of him that was unwilling to throw punches and engage in Sims. Now, that's my question for Berlanga. If Angulo was able to get in his chest, press him, and really push that gas tank and take him to those deep, dark, uncomfortable places, where fighters go to, will he be able to answer the bell? But not just answer the bell, but answer the bell in spectacular fashion. Because look, I don't even think it's enough for Edgar Berlanga to beat Romero Angulo.
Right.
He can't grind out a win against Romero Angulo.
Right.
He needs to look sensational, and he needs to get the boxing world, the boxing fans, and even the Puerto Rican fans, because the Puerto Rican fans are even saying this guy is not what we thought he was. He needs to get people excited about him again.
And not exciting in the sense of just getting a knockout and you're back to yourself, but that's it. For me personally, he needs to show me the feints, the skills. What have you done in your package that made you a better boxer? If I can see that from him, so guess what? If he just goes in there and knocks the fuck out of Angulo and doesn't show me no other things, no other skills that I've been preaching about, praying for.
No. If he knocks the fuck out of Angulo,
and Timothy Bradley was saying, I will say the same thing. I don't care even if you're not, because in his mind he's gonna think the same thing. Oh, I'm back to my knockout speed, and that's say, no, motherfucker, you need to train, use your skills, and do what you gotta do. But go ahead, tell me.
Shout out to Toby Bartlett, salute BT and Pops, much love from across the pond, guys. Hey,
God bless you guys.
I'm gonna say this about the UK, right? Because we had a lot of good UK. I mean, we had Daniel Dubois here in South Florida for the fight this weekend. We had. Had a chance to interview him. We had Steve Bunce. Now I'm gonna tell you this, man. Steve Bunce apparently, because I looked this up and he told me this. So I thought he doesn't do a lot of interviews with people. So I felt blessed to get an interview with Steve Bunce. Very cool guy. I respect him for all the work he's done in boxing over the years. He's been an independent media guy in boxing since I think 1998. So he's been putting in a lot of work for over the years.
Who brother was crazy.
It was crazy. Southern California boxing, the Mexican monster Benavidez beats both Berlanga and Morrell. I think he beat Berlanga, but if Morrell gets more time to develop, I'm not so confident in the quote unquote Mexican monster. Yep, Benavidez beats Morrell and Berlanga in the same night. I don't know, maybe Berlanga, but Morrell is man. How would you know if he beats Morrell? We haven't even seen Dave Benavidez fight a southpaw. I'll tell you this: he's square up, all right. He's square up against a southpaw like Morrell, and he missed any shots. Morrell's coming down the middle with that straight left hand. But I think Morrell, it'd be the most advantageous thing for him to develop more. Don't jump. I think he's good enough to compete with Benavidez right now. Maybe even beat him, because that's how highly I rate him. But if you want to give him the best, most optimal chance to win a big fight like that, I'm going to quote my boy Sean Porter, who was on here. By the way, if you guys didn't see the Sean Porter interview, because we got some more stuff going on here on True School Sports. He wanted to come back. He enjoyed it. Okay, go watch the Sean Porter interview from yesterday if you didn't already. But Sean Porter was saying yesterday, right, that he still thinks Morrell needs to improve. He was saying yesterday that David Morrell Jr. Needs to also start fighting outside of Minnesota, which I thought was a great point because – yes, he's looked great. He's built up a great fan base selling tickets at the Armory in Minnesota, but that's not like the level he's gonna be at when he's fighting Benavidez. He's gonna they need to take him out, fight or two. Go to Vegas, MGM Grand, Staples Center, somewhere on the West Coast. That's a big venue, and get accustomed to fighting in real big time boxing venues and in kind of fights. You know what I'm saying? So
I just want to one comment we talked about before. You were right again when a couple weeks ago Lukowicz said that Morrell, I forgot the other fighters he says, and sure enough, they come out now saying that Morrell's too young to fight him. This and that. Yeah,
so it is what it is, man. Let's get to my man Gerald Morgan. I like Gerald because Gerald always says positive things. So he says, "Salute to you, young brother, and your father. All Army boxing team salute you too. God bless you too. I'm rocking my Canelo Exposed Bivol shirt for my 20K race. Hey,
God bless you.
Gerald, best of luck to you on your 20K marathon race, man. Hopefully you do it and kill it and have great timing. I might need to run a 20K marathon race. And I was in the gym before this live. I did 3 miles on the treadmill. I'm feeling good. Your boy BT's feeling good. The faces, the jawline is getting sharper and attractive. The female attraction is just going up to the roof these days. It's great. Life is great right now. But salute to you, Gerald. Thank you for supporting the channel. The island of Puerto Rico doesn't like Berlanga like they did Camacho, Trinidad, Cotto, Lopez, and Gomez, etc. Well, look, you're right, but it's still early. People in boxing are very fickle. Yeah, they don't like him now, but he get a couple knockouts to get some decent names.
They'll be back on the train.
They'll be right back on the train. So let's not be too harsh on Berlanga just yet. But yeah, right now they don't. We'll see what he does this weekend. People are sleeping on Morrell, man. The boy got talent. I mean, not just talent. It's not even just talent. It's more than talent. It's talent. It's self-belief and it's a lot of hunger. He's coming from Cuba. He had to leave. He had to leave his whole family. The typical story we see with Cuban boxers. So
motivated to win.
That's motivated to win. Hard. Not the traditional Cuban. Jabbing and moving point style. No, this is the aggressive Cuban style.
This is like it's a killer.
Yeah.
You could tell that when he throws his punches, These are not punches that you can just look and say, "Oh no, he's coming." When he throws punches, he's coming to fucking hurt you.
I'm gonna tell you an opponent I would like for him next. I would like to see Morrell fight the guy that dropped Berlanga, Coceres, the tough Argentinian, because he's the guy that is durable, and I think he needs Morrell needs rounds because he's only had one fight so far where he's went over 4 rounds, and that was his third pro fight against Lennox Allen. So he needs rounds. I think Coceres is good because Coceres has fought Billy Joe Saunders. He fought Berlanga.
He's got experience to take him through those rounds.
It'd be a good measuring stick. I'm gonna tell you this: he go on there, he fucking stop Coceres in like less than 4 rounds. Then I'm gonna know we really have a serious problem on our hands. Yeah. You know, Morrell needs to hit Miami, LAC, Los Angeles, and New York City. Listen, when Morrell was here, at the Luis Ortiz Charles Martin fight on New Year's Day, the man was rocking a Miami Marlins jersey. So Dan Morrell. Bring him to South Florida. We love to have him here. We love to have him here. Make him a big star. Maybe listen. I'm a dreamer. I have big dreams in life. So people sometimes say I'm delusional, but you gotta be a little delusional to accomplish anything great. Make him a big star, and then when he really becomes an attraction, Marlins Park, David Morrell, Marlins Park, world title fight. Make it happen.
And to go along with that point, he needs to go to LA, New York, whatever. But that's basically what Sean Porter was trying to say. You can't just take comfort in your comfort zone. You need to go see other places.
Yeah. We got another switch chat. Shout out to my main man from Texas, from Dallas, Chance Dotson. Listen, man. You know, the big bad booty daddy, he's always looking around that corner. So Scott Steiner, put these hoes in the Steiner recliner.
Up and grind. And it's only a matter of time because he called me the big bad booty daddy.
Shout out to Chance Dotson with the $5 super chat. He says, "Hello, BT and Pops. How are y'all? I'm excited. I'm getting in shape for an upcoming fight in July. And hey, God bless you, Chance. I'm gonna tell you this. I've been going to the gym for 3 weeks. I've been going religiously. I'm talking about like 5 days minimum. 5 days the first week. 5 days the first week. 6 days last week. So far, it's been 3 days. All 3 days this week. Even today, I'm surprised today I actually went to the gym with everything I had going on. But that's that mental toughness you need. That's the mental toughness you need if you want to be great in life. But best of luck in your fight, man. Go out there, beat the shit out of whoever they put in front of you. Look good doing it. Move that head. Make sure you jab. Make sure you feint. Make sure you mix it up. Make sure you keep your opponent guessing at all times. And have a great time doing it.
Don't keep your head in a straight line.
Yeah.
I love you. I'm just saying, God bless you, man.
Thank you, Champs, for all the support over the years, Champs.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm proud of you, young brother. Keep up the great work. I will run some miles for you too, LOL. I have to maintain a 5:30 pace. Okay.
Ooh, well, that was back in the military for me.
Yeah.
No.
Hey, so I gotta ask you a question. I've seen the pictures of you when you're in the military. You have the cinder block shoulders. I'm trying to get like him in his prime because I can't compete with him in his prime yet. I'm getting there though.
Yeah.
All right, Pops. When you were in the military, I'm gonna assume they made you run, right? They made you run. Okay, how many miles could you run like when you were at your peak condition in the military?
At my peak condition?
Peak condition, like what was it?
I could probably run. I could run all day, 6, 7. I was in shape then.
Yeah. How many minutes would you run?
I used to run 6-minute miles, 5.5-minute miles, quick. And I got short legs. Imagine me. Even when we get out, when I used to go to the YMCA when my son was little, I would run the fucking.
Oh yeah, that I remember. He used to have a little trash bag run on the track.
Yeah, I mean, so it's all up to you. You just gotta eat right, eat the proteins, eat your stuff right, get your sleep's the most important thing.
Drink lots of water.
Drink a lot of water, and you'll build up yourself. You're a little taller than I am, believe it or not.
Yeah, I am.
So
I believe it.
I'm short and stocky. So for me, I did a lot of push-ups, constantly push-ups, sit up. Anywhere I would go, I would just do at nighttime when I come home, sit up. I would do push-ups and I would do a lot of dumbbells.
Okay.
That was me.
Okay.
I didn't go to the gym and look at the girls. This is what I did. And I ran out of
See, I actually turned the girls thing into motivation.
Amen.
Like when I go to the gym, because like at the gym they have the Stairmaster in a certain area, and they have like where the little like leg machines are and the chest machines are.
Yeah.
Anytime I do that, I'm literally placed right in front of the Stairmaster, and all the girls with the thick legs go on the Stairmaster. We're in Miami, so
yeah.
I use it as motivation. I look at it as a bad thing.
Amen.
Taco TV says BT for mayor. Yes, right, Chad.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Does Jose Benavidez have a chance against Danny Garcia? Now, listen, man, I want to say no, he doesn't. I think it's very easy to say no, he doesn't. But Danny Garcia, look, he wasn't the puncher at 147 that he was at 140. He's not a high volume guy. He's not gonna be a boxer and mover. He's gonna be right there to be hit. You know, got a granted chin. He's never been dropped, never hit the canvas. As my good buddy Paul Martinez will always be so quick to point out.
Yeah.
You know, your favorite fight hit the canvas. Danny Garcia never hit the canvas, but I think he's got a chance only because of the way Danny fights. You don't really know how the power of Danny's going to carry up. You also got to question, you know, how much does Danny really want to box? Danny Garcia lives a good life. He's got multiple properties here in South Florida. He owns like 4 or 5 Dunkin' Donuts. He's made money. He's got everything a man could want. So when you achieve these things, it's very hard to stay hungry. I question how hungry he is, along with his style. So obviously you want to favor him going into the fight because he's a better fighter. But Benavidez, I think, will have a chance just based off the fact that he's going to throw punches. Now, whether or not he can take a Danny Garcia, you know, one of them no look left hooks that he likes to throw, that's another conversation on its own. But I think he's got a chance. You know what I'm saying? Anthony Mazzano, what's good, champ? Good to see you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me see. Where am I at? Right now, we pretty much covered Bryan. We covered Munguia. We covered Berlanga. Berlanga really needs to show up this week in a big way. So, yeah, make sure you guys go vote on our poll so you can tell Pops which fight is going live for. I think Morrell could give Benavidez a good challenge. Quick question. Has Benavidez ever fought a guy that can crack?
Oh, shit.
At 68. Well, like, he fought Lemieux his last fight, but Lemieux is not a natural 68 pounder. He's more of a 60 pounder. So I don't really count Lemieux. Let me see. Who is the biggest puncher David Benavidez has fought? He fought Ellis. He fought with Jelly Medina. He fought probably Durrell. I think Anthony Durrell he fought Durrell, right?
You beat him?
He beat it. Yeah, he's undefeated. Anthony Durrell was probably the biggest puncher he's fought. So if he's fought a guy who can crack, it's not a whole lot of them.
Yeah. So
that's what makes the Morrell fight interesting because the advantage that Benavidez normally has over all these guys 68 is he's normally the bigger fighter. He's normally the longer fighter.
Right.
And he's normally the younger fighter. That ain't the case with Morrell. Things are more even in that regard.
You told me he's big.
And this fight, you know, this fight could kind of remind me of in a way, right? In its own way, it kind of reminded me of when Salvador Sanchez fought Danny Lopez.
Oh, wow.
Danny Lopez was a dominant featherweight champion, but the reason why he was so dominant featherweight because he was a big, long, tall, hard-punching featherweight. Everybody he fought up until Salvador Sanchez, was bigger and longer than.
So he dominated you
until he fought Salvador.
Yeah.
When he fought Salvador fucking beat his ass.
I'm saying, but if Morrell happened, that's going to be a big challenge.
That's going to be something new, you know. Anthony says, "Thank you for your service, Pops. Were you a Marine, a sailor, or in the Army?"
I was in the Army. I was in 82nd Airborne paratrooper.
Yeah.
Went to the Gulf War.
He was jumping out of planes. That's why it's so damn crazy. BT, for Jaime Munguia and Edgar Berlanga, what do you need to see in terms of improvements for the fights that are coming up this weekend? The same question to Pops. Well, I'll answer that first. I've wanted to see one thing from Edgar Berlanga for the longest time. All right, for the longest time, I wanted to see the one thing from Edgar Berlanga. I wanted to see him feint. So I want to see feints. I want to see setups. I want to see, if at all possible, double jabs. I want to see him invert the 1-2 to a 2-1. You know, I want to see him just really become a fighter that's less predictable and the kind of fighter that is keeping the opponents guessing more. These are the things he needs to do if he wants to ever become a world champion.
Change his training might be his problem?
Yeah, that's part of it. Yes. Okay, so there's that. For Munguia, right, I think Munguia has improved. He showed me improvements in his last couple of fights, from his ability to use the jab to his improvements cutting the ring off. I don't really think for him it's a matter of improvements. I think it's more for him more than Berlanga. It's a matter of matchmaking. It's a matchmaking thing. He needs to get that big fight to put him over the line. And Golden Boy, along with Miguel Beltran in Zenit Promotions, they need to get a big fight for this young kid over the line and let him show the world what he can do. People have mentioned that Munguia has weight issues. Apparently, this fight with Kelly's at 68, which I don't remember hearing about that because that doesn't make any sense. Because why would they fight at 68 when Kelly's ranked at 160? Wow. I know there was a last fight where Munguia fought Ballard and he fainted at the scales. He's going to have to move to 68 soon. So we might be talking about Morrell having to fight Munguia or Munguia fighting Benavidez.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Pops for the governor. That's right.
You got that right. I'll get them right.
LOL, Pops. I am serving in the Army. I have 9 years to go. Thanks for your service. Did you hear about Spence versus Crawford in October in Las Vegas? Now, look, I had Sean Porter on here yesterday. I asked Sean Porter about it, right? Go back and go and watch the interview. He pretty much said he wasn't going to talk too much about it, but he did say, like, he told the fans to be patient, and like the way I interpreted that is, the way I interpreted that was he's very they're still in negotiations. So all the reports we hear about it almost being done, maybe it is almost done, but like with that fight, Gerald, the approach that I'm taking is I'm not gonna think that they're fighting until I literally see them walk to the ring. Even if they don't fight tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. I still won't think it's happening until I see Crawford and Spence in the ring with Jimmy Lennon Jr. ready to announce them.
Even with your 3 things that you say.
Even if I get those 3 things, this fight. That's how. Brandon says if we get a venue, date, TV, I still won't believe it because this fight has just been delayed so much. Yeah. I'm trying not to be negative about it, but I'm just being honest. I don't have the same excitement, enthusiasm, or fervor that I once had for this fight years ago because I really think they've delayed this fight so much so to the point that now you got guys like Jerron Ennis and Virgil Ortiz coming through the back door who are really been impressive in their fights and they're making things so great. They're performing so well to the point where it's like you got to question, is this really the fight between the 2 best welterweights? I know they have all the belts. I know it's undisputed, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're the 2 best welterweights. Yep. That's right. Garcia does got a granite chin. Absolutely. Special Operations Command, Airborne Assault 160th Night Stalker. Salute to you once again, Pops. My dad actually retired with the 82nd Airborne in Fort Bragg. I know about those airborne knees. Yeah, the knees. My
held on, but I had to do a lot more march because my feet a lot shorter. But I made it through. God bless. God bless him too. Bro.
We got another super chat. Shout out to my guy Edgar Alas. You guys know the drill. When the super chats come out, so does Don King. So Don King, go ahead and talk to him.
Hey everybody, let's have some fun. You don't live but once, and when you're dead, you're done. So let the good times roll. It don't matter whether you're young or old. Let the good times roll.
That's right, and let the good times roll. We will here on True School Sports. Edgar asks, in a dream fight, Tito versus Spence and Tito versus Bud at 147. Man, you asking some great questions right now. I think Tito versus Spence would be a great fight because you're going to have a very great clash of styles. You would have Errol Spence and the way he likes to use that volume jab to plod forward and go to the body and break you down, going up against the hard punching left hook. You know, you have to avoid that left hook coming in. So that would be the fight within the fight. That would be great. I think in that fight, Tito would stop Earl late in that fight. Woo! But it'd be tough. In Tito versus Bud, I think is a much more interesting fight because these are 2 guys that I think are more similar and they're a little bit more similar in style. Bud is a sharpshooter. Trinidad loves that left hook. We know Bud has been hurt by smaller guys like Gamboa. That's a pick 'em fight, but I got Crawford. I got Crawford over Tito. Because Tito was a savage. Tito was a savage. I would say Crawford is equally a savage, and we've seen at times Tito's durability hurt him in fights. Like
I would say, Tito. Crawford has more dimensions than Tito, so I would favor that too.
Yeah. To be honest, Jaime Munguia will get zero respect until he stops ducking smoke against actual contenders. I agree, but he's got to win the fights in front of him. Switch. And the fight he's got right now, for good, bad, or indifferent, whether we like it or not, is Jimmy Kelly. So he got to beat him, and then he can move on. Go says, Munguia is the new Canelo. Ran for Andrew for months, doesn't like any real challenges, fights bums and folks he has no business fighting. Now, I'm going to tell you this. This is going to sound crazy coming from me, the guy who had the Canelo Exposed by Bivol channel name for 2 weeks. But I actually think Munguia is worse than Canelo. I think he is worse. Munguia is 25 years old. He's got 40 fights. By this point in time, Canelo had already fought Floyd. He had already fought good veterans like Leonardo Tyner, Larry Mosley. Right. Canelo was taking on big challenges at this stage of where Munguia is at in his career. So I actually think Munguia has been babied, protected, in many ways spoiled way more than Canelo.
He's going to get knocked the fuck out. If he fights a real competition, he's going to get knocked the fuck out.
Munguia and Zuro both are worse. I take that back. I'm gonna have to disagree with you on Zotto. Now I get what you're coming from. Like Zotto hasn't fought the creme de la creme, best names, so you have all the rights to get mad at him and say that. But you can't compare Munguia to Zotto. Zotto won his first of all. Zotto was the first ever, not the first undisputed, but the first ever Mexican super middleweight champion in the world. Not Canelo, Zotto. When Zotto won the belt, he won the belt against Arthur Abraham, a legitimate 68 pounder. Munguia won the WBO belt at 54 against a welterweight who got knocked out by Jesse Vargas and Saddam Ali, who ran into the title because he fought an old Cotto, happened to beat him, and it was just the right circumstances. And then, him being from New York, that New York pride got in his way. I would tell you all that pride stuff, it get you fucked up if you're not careful. So, so you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Zotto is as bad as Munguia. I do think he has the same problem with Munguia as far as getting the big fights, but he's fought legitimate fighters in his weight class. Jesse Hart, when Jesse Hart was named twice. Vlasov, who challenged Joe Smith for the title that people thought he beat Joe Smith. He fought him.
Wow.
Arthur Abraham.
So he fought tough opponents.
He fought tougher opponents. Unification Gonzalez. I mean, much tougher opponents than Munguia. So, and I think he's better than Munguia. And I think Zotto is the most underrated Mexican fighter. But only time will tell if that's true or not. You know what I'm saying? If Earl and Bud don't get that show on the road, both got young killers closing it and mandatories. Yes, and that's my issue. That's my issue, MAW. That's my big issue with that fight. Is they've waited so long to make this fight happen that now I can legitimately question: am I really watching the two best welterweights in the world? And that's what really pisses me off about the fight, because I really wanted to see this fight when these guys were clearly the best two welterweights in the world. But see, now it doesn't matter if you're a Spence fan. It doesn't matter if you're a Bud fan.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Whoever wins this fight, people are gonna say great win. They'll talk shit to the other fan base, but then there's gonna be another people saying, now you gotta go fight Jaron Ennis. Now you gotta go fight Virgil Ortiz.
Yeah, you got what Brother basically saying is when you had the opportunity to get this fight done right away, you didn't have nobody looking behind the mirror coming in front of you. And now it really is irrelevant what the fuck you both do. Let me basically think what the fuck Crawford and Spence do, because you got two young dogs behind you. Because
the winner of this fight, the winner of that fight is only the king of the division for a moment in time.
Yeah.
Okay. I think if Earl wins the fight, two things are gonna happen: either A, he's gonna retire, or B, he's gonna vacate the belt move 54. But either way you cut it up, slice it and dice it, Earl's not staying at 47 after that fight. I will be shocked if Earl stays at 147 after the car fight, win or lose. He can barely make the weight. He's been very vocal about wanting to move to 54.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel that
if he's gonna stay at 147 to fight Boots, someone's gonna have to break up fucking the bank, the checkbook.
Do you think that the same is true for Crawford?
Yes.
154 to go.
Yes, I think the same is true for Crawford. The same thing is true for Crawford. If Crawford wins this fight, he already made his plans known. He want to fight Spence for undisputed, and he want to fight Charlotte for undisputed. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? So, Gerald says, I love Bud Crawford. I really enjoy Hector Camacho's career. Rest in peace to him. I pray his family is healed. He was a true legend, especially for the Puerto Rican community. Yes, he was. I had a chance. I don't know if you dig in the archives, Joe, if you just go on my channel and just type in like Hector Camacho Jr. Hector Camacho Jr. was training down here last year at a local gym. I had a chance to interview him about Hector Camacho's career. So I would encourage you to go on the channel, type his name in, and check that out, because you say you like his career. So, yeah.
Good people.
I hope Zotto gets a crack at Better Be over Bivol. Well, the more likely of the two is Bivol, because at this moment in time, Zotto is a WBA mandatory. Now, I want to tell you guys something pretty funny. I have a video coming out on this. I don't know when it's going to drop, because I got a lot of videos that just sitting in the dashboard I got to drop. But Zotto is the number 1 ranked mandatory challenger in the WBA for Bivol. The number 2 ranked contender is Joshua Buatsi. Eddie Hearn wants to try to make Joshua Buatsi versus Bivol next. He's trying to get Buatsi to skip the line, and instead of fighting Zotto in a final eliminator, he wants a world title shot against Bivol.
Can they do that?
He can only do that if he goes to the WBA and the WBA grants his request.
Okay.
But if Eddie Hearn is trying to do that, then the right way to go about it, and we know boxing is always do the right thing.
Right.
But the right way to go about it would be to have Zotto fight Buatsi in a final eliminator, and the winner becomes mandatory challenger. If I'm gonna tell you guys this, if Buatsi gets the fight over Zotto, like the next fight Bivol has, I'm gonna go nuts. I'm gonna lose my mind, because first of all, I don't want to see Buatsi versus Bivol right now.
Didn't you say also that Yardy has something to play with this too?
No, Yardy's fighting the winner of the other fight. Okay. But Smith versus Better Be. Which, by the way, if you guys don't know, I've said it a million times, but me and Pops will be in New York City from June 15th to June the 19th. We'll be there for the Better BF versus Joe Smith Jr. fight. So if you're in New York City, if you're going to be there, or if you're from New York City, let us know. We can meet up. Listen, there's no reason on God's earth Zotto should not get this fight. When he beat Unification Gonzalez, he became the mandatory challenger. He's mandatory. So he's been the mandatory challenger for 7 months now, almost 7 months. And I said it before Bivol beat Canelo,
right,
and before Zotto was even mandatory. I said it in December. The best fight in boxing, not one of, I meant no, the number one.
Wow.
The fight that people need to be calling for, that I think is the best fight in boxing, is Zotto Ramirez versus Dimitri Bivol. Now that's aged very well. Bivol went on to beat Canelo. Zotto has picked up 2 good wins against Nunez Gonzalez and very overmatched Dominic Bozell. I think that fight does big numbers in Southern California. I'm talking big. Yeah. I'm talking about people. That's a fight that's bigger than people realize if you put it in Southern California because Zotto has been fighting it regularly. He's Mexican, so that's going to sell some tickets on its own.
Right.
But now you have the added appeal of the guy who beat Canelo fighting the other Mexican in around this weight.
Yeah.
You know, so
you're right. That's
what we need to do. Virgil ain't in the equation. I think Styles is ahead of him. Boots is the number 1 contender.
Styles is a beast too.
Well, Boots is the number 1 contender in the IBF. Virgil is the number 1 contender or number 2 contender in the WBO. Styles, I think, is the number 1 contender in the WBA.
Oh, wow.
So they're all like number 1 contenders somewhere, just in different organizations. They're all in the equation, one way or the other.
They fight each other.
Who wins this dream fight at 118 pounds? Romo Gonzalez versus Carlos Zarate. We've never seen Romo Gonzalez at 118 pounds, so I can't really say. It's hard to predict. It's hard to predict the fantasy fight, but it's much harder to predict the fantasy fight when one of the guys in the fantasy fight is campaigning in a weight class that he's never fought in. Now, great fight, you know, Zarate, great fighter. Cholatito, I mean, I think if it's at 118, you favor Zarate only because Cholatito's not an 18-pounder. But since you brought it up, I'll tell you this, man. I want to see Cholatito go up to 118 and win a 5th world title. Now, obviously, Inoue is up there. They can make that fight for the whole, and I call it the holy grail of boxing. Because to me, if you want to see me get excited, if you ever want to see me get excited, let them make that fight happen, and watch how crazy I start acting. But maybe you know, if you're a manager, right, from the manager standpoint, you don't want to fight Inoue right away. Maybe you wait for Inoue to vacate the belts, wait for them to fragment, and then maybe you can win a vacant belt and become a 5-division champion. Who knows? But I like to see him at 118 at some point. Try to dare to be great, you know? Let me see. Munguia should learn something from my homie Dave Morrell. 7 fights in, and he's legit asking for the best, chasing down mandatories. Ryder declined twice, which he did. John Ryder did decline to fight Morrell twice, which is crazy because John Ryder is a quality fighter. John Ryder is one of the better 168-pounders out there. So for him to not want to fight Morrell, it actually shows you what this guy's level is right now.
I think also just the mentality that he's still too young. Or something.
Yeah, all that 24 years old, and
he hasn't earned his stripes of what they're looking at. So they like
all that 24 years old, and he's only had 27 rounds in boxing.
Jesus.
27 rounds.
I know what you say, but I think a lot of these fighters that have been here for a minute, that's what they look at. Oh, he's too young.
This is pretty badass right here. Anthony says, Pops, I have a friend serving right now in the military, special operations. He is a Force Recon Marine sniper. That sounds pretty badass to me. Yeah. I'm not exactly what that means. I just know there's a gun involved and he's a Marine, so that sounds pretty. I know what a sniper is, but I'm saying like that sounds like some Call of Duty, like Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six shooting motherfucker. These are video games that I played when I was a kid. But anyway, Pops, when you're in the Army as a paratrooper, did you ever cross paths with either Navy SEALs or Force Recon Marines? No, we didn't work together. We didn't actually work together. But they were on the base. I mean, the Marines came out to do operations and stuff like that. I never run into them. Gerald says, I definitely will check it out, young brother. Thanks. Better be able to handle Joe Smith, in my opinion. I want to see Zotto versus Canelo. LOL. I got Zotto. Well, you're not going to see it, champ, because Canelo said himself, don't take my word for it. Take his word for it. He don't fight Mexicans because he's the representative of Mexican boxing, but he lost to Bivol. So is he trying to say that Mexicans are losers? Because I think Mexicans are winners. Very prideful. They're great people. I love the Mexican people. BT, did you ever see the interview with Ronnie Shields where he said that he feels Dave Morrell isn't ready yet for the top guys at 168? I didn't watch the actual interview, but I saw the quotes on Boxing Scene. You know, hey, he's a trainer. He's in the gym with him every day. That's his prerogative. If he feels like he's not ready, he's not ready. Personally, I want undisputed after Arthur Joe Smith. Time isn't on Arthur's side, and Zotto's side work to do. Zotto versus Yarde in main event. Arthur versus Bivol. Undisputed winner fights the winner. Well, you see, I'm gonna tell you what I told my dad. You're thinking from an idealistic standpoint.
They don't have
and that's not gonna happen. Okay, this is what's gonna happen. All right, I'm gonna save you the time and trouble, Ghost. Okay, the winner of Better BF Smith is going to fight Anthony Yarde around October. Okay, that'll be mandatory there. Bivol will probably fight, hopefully, Zoro, but Eddie Hearn's a great talker, so he might be able to talk Dubois into a fight with the WBA.
Yeah.
But let's just say it's Zoro, right? So then them two fight. Now, the other thing you guys got to factor in is that the WBC also just ordered a fight eliminator. Callum Smith is fighting this French dude who I've never heard of. There's this French dude who I've never heard of that Callum Smith's going to fight sometime this summer.
Is he good?
The guy's like 22-1. I think he had like 9 or 10 knockouts. He got stopped one time, but Callum Smith's fighting him next. So Callum Smith wins that WBC final eliminator. He then becomes WBC mandatory. So then you have 3 mandatories. All right, 3 mandatory. You're gonna have 3 mandatory challengers in this division before the end of August for sure.
Wow.
Eddie Hearn will have what? Because Eddie Hearn will have one of them. Oscar will have another, and Frank won't have the other, which I think is a nightmare scenario if you're looking for an undisputed champion. Because if it was like if it was like one promoter who had all the guys, or 2 promoters, great. But you have 3 of the big power brokers in boxing with a light heavyweight mandatory, all jockeying for position, and this is only going to cause more confusion. So if you're hoping for an undisputed light heavyweight champion, be optimistic, but just don't expect it to be anytime within the next 12 to 16 months.
Yeah, you don't get much from the bridgerweight division, huh?
No, you don't. But let me see. Zoro's too slow. By the way, shout out to everybody here. I know this is a late live, so I appreciate just having this many people here. Zoro is too slow for Bivol. He has power, but Bivol is too sharp. Skills paid the bills. We'll see, man. Zoro has got some skills of his own. Munguia fight is a cakewalk. For who? Inoue versus Cool Boy, Mohammed Madid. I like that fight. Shout out to Mohammed. Great fight. Great fight. Steve Fulton not really getting the credit he deserves from the boxing world at large for beating everybody and their mother at 122. But I think this fight is great because you have both Inoue and Cool Boy who really have dominated the weight class so much so to the point to where they only have 1 fight left, which is an undisputed fight in their respective weight class. So the dream scenario is you get Cool Boy versus Merjan sometime this year. Merjan's got a fight coming up next on June 25th on the Bam Rodriguez undercard against Ronnie Rios. So if Merjan does what he's supposed to do, he beats Ronnie Rios, then you got an undisputed fight there with Fulton and Merjan. Now we don't know if that's gonna happen because PBC's involved. Yeah, Merjan, I believe, is with I don't know. I think he might be Golden Boy. I'm not sure. I don't think he's a Golden Boy fighter, but he's with somebody else. Okay. You want that fight to happen because then that will cement a guy at 122, right? Whether it be Merjan or Fulton. Inoue's got a fight that on paper might just be the most lopsided, undisputed fight in the history of the sport.
Wow.
Him versus Paul Butler in the UK, which I think would be it'd be a great event. Well, I don't think it'd be a great fight, but it'd be a great event. The monster fight in the UK. I'll tell you this, if he fights in the UK, I'm going to go. Is Paul Butler an Eddie Hearn fighter or Frank Warren? Does anybody know? Is he Frank Warren or Eddie Hearn? I gotta check that out.
Yeah.
Because the reason I'm asking is because I met this guy today. Yeah. Who's like the director of? He's the media guy for Queensberry Promotions. He's the media relations guy. And we got along very well. Right. And I told him I want to come to the UK. So that's a fight where if he were to call, is he Frank Warren? Yeah. Who is this guy's? Part ways. They parted ways a while ago. So I think maybe he's probably a Hearn fighter. Anyway, Paul Butler versus Inoue would happen. Paul Butler would probably lose the fight. And you got him as an undisputed champion. So now you got one undisputed champion versus another undisputed champion. A great little man going on to take on a really great big man in a bigger man in Fulton. Yeah, could be like a Wilfredo Gomez, Salvador Sanchez type of scenario. Great fight. I think if Fulton can get to the first couple of rounds against Inoue, he can outbox him. But then again, Inoue has speed, power. I think Sean Porter made a great point yesterday when we talked about this. Yeah, we did. He will probably fill out more when he gets to 122. So he might even, the scary thing about Inoue is he might even be better at 122.
Well, that's crazy because we've seen his brother. You see how he filled out?
Yeah, you see how he filled out. So yeah. True School says, I'm praying it somehow happens, but more than likely it won't not happen until 2024. Sad, but you're right. Arthur has been one of the most avoided guys for years. It's been a combination of things with Arthur in his career. It's been yes, he's been avoided. The guys haven't wanted to fight him, but also those early years with Al Heyman on PBC, those years really did a number on him. because he should have been. He should have won a world title quicker than he won a world title, but he didn't because he was inactive. So because of that, he lost a lot of time. And then now, by the time if he beats Joe Smith, which again is not a walk in the park, so don't think that's a walk in the park. He might fucking lose that fight. But if he beats Joe Smith, which he should, and I'm picking him. All right. By the time he gets a chance, by the time all this politics stuff blows over and whatnot, he might be 40 years old by the time he gets a chance to fight Undisputed.
That's crazy.
That's sad. That's sad that a guy like Archie Beterbiev will have to wait that long to get his shot.
That's what happens when
if Bam wins against Homicide, how about his how will he go to fight a guy with Strada? That's a good fight. I like that fight. I'm gonna tell you this, man. I'm gonna go with Rick Laser. Go check that interview out. We do interviews all about True School Sports. Oh, by the way, before I address your point, I got more great news. I didn't even tell you this.
No.
But Monday at noon Eastern time, we will be interviewing none other than Speedy Rashidi Ellis. So he'll be here on Monday. So
shout out Massachusetts.
But as far as Bam, I'm gonna go with what Rick Laser said. I like to see him fight. If he beats Rumberside, I want to see him fight Chocolatito, passing of the torch type of a fight, pay-per-view fight.
Wow.
You give Chocolatito his $1 million payday. You give Bam $1 million payday. I don't think there's anybody in boxing that wouldn't want to see that fight. You guys can let me know. Bam Rodriguez versus Chocolatito if he beats Rumberside.
And you got to respect what Rodriguez is doing now, man. He wants all the big fights. I love that.
Yeah. H Money, what's going on? He says, True School, Dan Morrell is on his way to Miami. He is?
Oh, wow.
Be specific. Like, you got me on Instagram. If you can't message me certain information in the chat, message me on Instagram where he's going to be. If you have any, contact information, share it with me, whatever. Or just let me know where he's going to be. I'd like to meet Morrell. I think he's a great fighter, and I think the world of him, really. I think he's a great talent. Team Morrell, we in here. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. BT, Benavidez is all bark, no bite. Morrell sets up the contract. He did say sign the contract, but Ronnie Shields did say he's not ready. I don't know. You don't really know what's going on with the negotiations. Maybe I could ask that if I meet Morrell or Benavidez. I got to get these two on the channel. You know what? We're going to do that.
Who's that?
We're going to go get Benavidez, and I want to get Benavidez and Morrell on the channel at the same time.
You got to do it, man.
That's what we got to do.
Yeah.
I got to do what H-Money did that one time when he had Bill Haney and Teofimo Sr. That was legendary.
You're going to be fucking around, right? H-Money do shit right.
I have Angulo knocking out Berlanga. That glass jaw won't hold up. That'd be insane. I'm going to tell you this.
It's over for him.
If Romero Angulo knocks out Berlanga, man, that's going to be crazy. Colombia stand up.
Yeah,
Colombian boxing on the way up.
He's pretty cool guy, too. I like him.
Angulo's a good guy. He trains here down in Miami. We know him pretty well. Not pretty well, but we've seen him a couple times. And hard-working fighter. A guy that, Oh, shit.
What?
BT, I'm going to send you Dan Morrell's manager's number. Perfect. Great. Love to hear it. BT, Ronnie's about to get fired for saying that. Damn. He said Ronnie's about to get fired for saying that Morrell isn't ready.
I mean, but I'm glad at least he said it, and not I wasn't seeing excuses from his dad on Fire House.
I'm glad. Listen, I'd rather Ronnie say it than his manager, because the manager will be the one that picks the fights.
What was his man? Dubois came out and said that he was gonna give a shot with a fight for Morrell, but I didn't like Benavidez Senior come out and say he's not ready, or anybody else. If it's not the trainer talking about it, then shut the hell up.
He is learning English and has become really good. It's impressive how quick of a learner he is. Yeah, I've noticed that, and that goes to show you, if he can learn English that quickly, come from Cuba.
Yeah,
you can only imagine how quick he learns about something that he put so much time into, like boxing.
Well, look at Michelle Herrera. He's pretty good on English too.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, H Money.
And W says you can do it, BT. You know what? I'm making it a goal. In fact, I'll put it down on my phone right now. Get Benavidez, or maybe I should get Benavidez on the channel first so he knows who I am, so I can ask him something. I want to ask him, because I actually want to ask Benavidez some tough questions, because nobody asks him the real questions. They're just saying, they're like, are you going to fight Canelo next? Are you going to, like, oh, what do you think about a Canelo fight? Yeah, I want to fight these guys. These guys are fucking pussies. They don't want to fight me. I'll put them in the hospital. Like, look, nobody's asking the real questions. Like, someone needs to ask Dave Benavidez, okay, why is Samson Lukowicz only let you fight 60-pounders? And why did you not fight Artur Beterbiev when the WBC moved you up to 175? And why did you ask to get reinstated? These are the only questions you want answered. And just like Canelo, you know, because nobody ever asked Canelo a question about Andre to his face the way they're supposed to. Okay, just like Canelo, I'm gonna have to do with Benavidez, and I've heard Benavidez is very easy to get a hold of. So you know what, we're gonna test that out tomorrow. I'm gonna message this man tomorrow, and
maybe if we get him in there. And the thing about it is, we'll see. I'll say one thing: if Benavidez come out and answer real questions, not like Charlo did on the Mike Tyson podcast, then I have to give him all the props.
You see, BT Ronnie Seals is a joke. He did the same thing with Charlo when Demetrius Andrade called him out.
Oh, okay.
I remember that. He had an interview last year. I'll never forget it.
Oh, we made that excuse for Charlo?
He was like,
okay, man.
the Andrade pulled out of the fight with Jamel, so they don't want to do business with him no more. Whatever. We're fighting bigger and better things, right? But then, you know, Jamal, his guy, he gets pulled out of fighting Demetrius Andrade's leftover. Sulecki, which, by the way, I'm not here to disrespect Sulecki. I think Sulecki's a quality fighter, but still, he pulled out against a guy that Andrade already beat. So they're even now. As far as I'm concerned, they're even. They can't talk no more shit about Andrade. As far as I'm concerned.
Dave Mahaney, it's funny. You talked to Dave Mahaney and them yet?
Yeah,
I know he has. I wanted to interview.
I think Morrell been asking for Benavidez since 2019. They don't really want smoke. They know what it is. Benavidez' team says a lot of things. They agreed to fight Andrade later and flip flop. Yeah, you could listen. Samson, look. Okay, you guys have my promise, all right? And you guys saw I just got Sean Porter on the channel. I had Rick Lesnar on here. I got Rashidi Ellis on Monday. I got from today at the press conference. I got Trevor Bryan, Daniel Dubois, Barry McGuigan, Stacey McKinley, Larry Holmes.
You did talk to Don King, but you got
and another interview as well.
Yeah.
So I'm getting these interviews. I'm making you guys a promise right now. Tomorrow, or maybe even before I go to sleep tonight, I'm messaging Samson Lukowicz and I'm messaging Benavidez, and we're gonna get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
We're getting to the bottom of this because I can't take it no more. I can't take the Benavidez mob telling me that he's this feared fighter when all I see him doing is fighting 160 pounders.
Well, his dad is making a lot of excuses. I don't like about his dad. Like making excuses.
I don't think his dad's. Look, I don't think his dad. I think his dad's just like
he wants to fight.
He's just there to I think he's just there to distract people from what's really going on.
Okay.
He's there to cause confusion. He don't know what the fuck's going on because Samson's the one calling the shots.
Right.
He's just there to answer the questions and take the heat off of Samson, so Samson can guide his career the way he wants.
So he's like long nose Hillary with a Mayweather, whatever. Yeah. Okay. Good point, Ben.
Let me see. True School. I'm sure you touched on it before, but you got Paul Andrew's number. You can ask him this. Team Benavidez was on the phone to Team Andre, and they said they were with it. Later, Samson said no. Well, yeah, I got to call Paul soon because I'm sure knowing how he operates, he'll call me any day now.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to him in a while, so I know that phone call is coming.
Yeah.
All it's going to take for him to wake up one day and just be like, I haven't talked to Brendan in a while. What's wrong with him?
Yeah, that's what they always do.
You know, so I got to, but yeah, I'll ask him that. Paul, that's another one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? BT and Pops, if Nonito decides to retire after this fight with the Monster, where do you guys rank him in terms of the greatest 118-pound fighters in boxing history? That's a tough question because I'll be honest with you. 118 is one of the original 8 weight classes. So you have more history there than most weight classes. I have to really sit down and give you and really go through the history of 118 to give you a good answer. If I give you an answer now, it's going to be trash. But what I can tell you is we're just talking about the last 5 years. He is the second best. No, the second or third. Probably the second or third best because Rick Dowell was a 118 pounder.
Yeah, and he's accomplished enough that I think he's still going to be in the Boxing Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's a rhetorical question at this point.
Yeah,
that's a rhetorical question. Yeah. Benavidez's team said a lot of things when the cameras come on. They say one thing, but behind the scenes, it's 160-pound fighters or old dudes. I mean, you mentioned old dudes, right? I'm gonna give you guys some homework to do. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys something about Benavidez's career that you probably never heard none of these Benavidez fanboy channels bring up. When Benavidez was a prospect, I can't remember what fight it was. Maybe it might have been like his 6th, 7th, or 8th fight, somewhere in that range. But you can go on BoxRec and look up who I'm talking about. Okay, he fought a dude named Roland Williams.
Okay,
Roland Williams, when Benavidez fought him, was damn near 50 years old, and the guy, the guy hadn't boxed for years when Benavidez fought him. He was so old. This is how old he was. Roland Williams was so old when he fought Benavidez that Roland Williams actually fought Roy Jones Jr. back in the day when Roy was a prospect.
Ooh,
so
oh my God,
that's the kind of competition Benavidez. Some of the competition that Benavidez fought coming up as a prospect. These guys who are, damn near in the AARP. Maybe AARP card.
They're gonna argue that point where you would say, okay, with that, a lot of fighters go to Mexico and go here and fight. The garbage can fight, no disrespect to them, and get pump up their records and stuff. What's different about that than what Benavidez is fighting this 50-year-old?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But nobody knows that. I guarantee you, I don't know if the guy's here anymore.
Yeah.
I wish he was here so I could ask him this question. West Coast Barber.
Oh, the guy
maybe he is here.
Yeah.
But West Coast Barber, like I wonder if he even knows about the Roland Williams fight.
You gotta give him.
I guarantee you, he does not know anything about the David Benavidez Roland Williams fight.
Say, riddle me this.
Riddle me that one. Box Talk 101. Salute BT, salute Pops. I just ended my live. I know how to come here and see what you talk about. Listen, everyone here, make sure you guys go subscribe to one of the realest and most honest people here on YouTube. Great person. And Box Talk 101, my guy Freddie, he's doing his thing. Help him grow his channel as I'm still growing mine. Listen, Freddie, we came here to talk about the 3 cards this week. We got, Berlanga versus Angulo, Trevor Bryan versus Dubois, Munguia versus Jimmy Kelly. Munguia, Bryan, and Berlanga all have, in my opinion, things to prove on their own this week, whether it be, proving that they belong in the ring at that world-class level, proving that they're on the road to becoming a star, or just proving that they can stay consistent. So they all are fighting for their own respect this week. So good to see you, champ. Gracious, LOL. I wonder why Benavidez fought a grandpa. I don't know. That's gonna be if I get him on here. I'm letting you guys know in advance. And I'm not even gonna say if. Let's be positive here. When I get him on here, that is one of the first questions I'm going to ask him.
He's gonna tell you why you asked me this question. Way in the back. Ask me about it.
Well, I'm gonna ask because my question is gonna be. My response will be if he says that. None of the people who regularly interview you ask you questions that are legitimate about your career, and I actually question if they even watch your fucking career. So I'm asking you the questions for clarity, so we can have more of an overall picture on who El Bandera Roja is.
Oh, I need to ask him that. What the fuck is that? What's the meaning behind that?
El Bandera Roja.
I know what it is, a red flag. What the fuck do you mean? What's behind it? There's got to be a message. Where he come from?
That's another question to ask.
I've been like, I need to ask him. I understand what I got to tell him. La Bandera Roja. I know it's a red flag.
It's the blood.
But it's
the blood.
For blood.
It's the bloods.
To kill, to fight. Is that a Mexican thing?
Somebody's fought low key being gangs. I know I'm not gonna name their names, but I know some guys who have fought on ESPN and challenged for world titles who are in gangs, who are Crips.
Okay. That's another topic. We have enough dark side and everything.
That's the dark side of boxing they don't talk about.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Abraham Martinez with Bones and no longer with Salas? You know what? I'm gonna say this. I think Salas is a great trainer, and I'm sure Abraham picked up some great things from Salas. So it's no side on Salas, but for fighters, right? The trainer, sometimes the trainer, how great he is doesn't matter. It's more so the fit is the way he trained. Does his philosophy in boxing line up with the way you fight in the ring?
Right.
And if there was ever a trainer fighter combination where the philosophies are like this, it's Salas and Abraham.
Yeah.
Salas wants his guys to box, move, and just be extremely fundamentally sound, which I think he's helped Abraham become more of that. Right. But ultimately, the thing that makes Abraham Martinez one of the most dangerous young fighters at 140 is his punching power and his ability to knock guys out. And I think when you focus so much on boxing, you can kind of take a bit away from that. So listen, I think Bones is a better fit for Abraham. Bones is a fighter and a trainer. He's a guy from Detroit. Right. I was talking to Stacey McKinley today because he was at Bones Adams and training Trevor Bryan, and he gave me a whole rundown on Bones, how he's from Detroit and all this stuff. And he apparently had a brother named what's his name?
All kinds of famous something. Yeah.
Pig. He had a brother that name was Pig or something like that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so I think it was Pig or something like that. Anyway, I think it's a great fit for him. I think Abraham is one of the most courageous young fighters in the sport today. I mean, his 10 or 11 fights or how many he has now, it's a lot more than fighters who have 22 fights.
Yeah, because he's a story. I think we're talking about right now.
He's gone on the road. He's won regional titles. Yeah. He's knocked out high rated prospects as the B side. So he's going places if he listens to Bones Adams.
Yeah, I would go like you say. So basically, you're saying is boxers look for a trainer that fits their style of fighting more or less than most.
Not all boxers. Some boxers are just fucking moody and they just train after they change clothes. But I don't think this is one of those cases. I think Abraham has gotten the most he could possibly get from Salas, which I think it's gonna pay off in his career. But he needs someone that's a more, I think, if you're gonna change trainers, right?
Yeah.
Like a Bones Adams, a guy who comes from that Detroit background, the kind of the crunk type of a style,
right.
you know. Eddie Hearn says Ben is gonna be back in September in a big step up, and if he's legit, who do you think it should be? Okay, let's just do this because it's pretty easy to figure out how these fucking people think and operate. All you gotta do is look at the rankings, and you just gotta know what does the promoter actually think about his fighter, because what the promoter says about his fighter and what he really thinks are not the same thing. Mm-hmm. Eddie Hearn is saying Conor Benn is a great fighter, but he's not matching him as such. He's being very careful for a reason. Okay. And mind you, look, Conor's improved. He's got the best coach in the UK behind him in Tony Sims. Yeah. So I think he's got a fighting chance to make some big noise in the welterweight division. But why are they walking? Okay, so 147. So if Ben's gonna be in a step up, right? So let's see. What's the highest organization Ben is ranked in? The highest organization Ben is ranked in is the WBO. He's currently the number 3 ranked fighter at the WBO, right? So he can go that route. Eddie Hearn's got Michael McKinson matched against Virgil Ortiz. Now, I know people are going to favor Virgil Ortiz to stop Michael McKinson, right? Which I think is a fair prediction because Michael McKinson, good boxer, awkward, can disrupt your timing, but he gets away with some things technically that he may I don't think he'll get away with in the Virgil fight, but it's a good fight nonetheless. But I'm gonna tell you guys this: in the event that Michael McKinson somehow pulls off an upset against Virgil Ortiz, don't even think about who Conor Benn will be fighting next. That'll be the fight. It'll be Michael McKinson as with the winner of Virgil Ortiz taking on Conor Benn in a big British clash. So I mean that's a potential fight. But Michael McKinson's probably tied up with Virgil, although it's not 100% confirmed yet. So we'll see what happens. Maybe he fights him right now straight away if the Virgil fight isn't happening next. But you got him in the WBO rankings. You got Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia is ranked number 12 in the WBO rankings. Now I know Mikey Garcia really doesn't have the love for boxing like he once had. I know that Conor's called out Mikey Garcia. Maybe that winds up being his step up. Even though Mikey Garcia isn't a natural welterweight, I think that fight is the kind of fight that Eddie Hearn would make for Conor Benn. A guy that's not a natural welterweight, but has a ton of name value, who's beaten one legitimate welterweight opponent in Jesse Vargas, Mikey Garcia. Big event in the UK, would do good numbers as far as ratings and views. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say right now for me, I think McKinson, Mikey Garcia, maybe Keith Thurman, Cody Crowley. I'm going to say Cody Crowley, Avanesian, Michael McKinson, Mikey Garcia, and maybe like I don't know. Yeah, so something like that, you know. Maybe Ekal Esselman, who's ranked number 12 in the IBF rankings, who's another high-level British fighter. That could be a good domestic fight. Florian Marcoux, he's 13th in the IBF. That's another domestic fight that would do good and sell well in the UK. There's a couple of options for him. You know, you got let's see who else. Yeah, so Mikey Garcia, Michael McKinson, Avanesian, you know, Florian Marcoux, Ekal Esselman, someone in that bunch. That's why I think he'll fight. As far as but to answer the second part of your question, who do I want to see him in there with? Who do I think it should be? I think in a perfect and just world, if Michael McKinson isn't getting that fight against Virgil Ortiz next, then I would like Michael McKinson versus Conor Benn. I think those are two of the best. Welterweights from the UK. Eddie Hearn's got them both signed to him, so it's an in-house fight. And it's a southpaw with orthodox matchup. If Ben's going to be this great fighter, then we need to see how he looks against the southpaw. And I'll be honest with you, I think Ben is a very good fighter. I think Ben has developed a lot over the years, and he can still develop more. I'm not so sure he beats Michael McKinson. I saw Adrian Granados, who's not a mover, when he fought Conor Benn, move around the ring and frustrate the fuck out of Conor Benn. So I know if he did it, a guy whose bread and butter is to move around the ring, be awkward and disrupt timing, Michael McKinson would give Conor Benn a great fight. So if the Virgil fight does not happen, because there's been some reports saying that since Virgil's not fighting Avanesian, he's fighting McKinson, but then McKinson tweeted and said he hasn't got confirmation of that himself. So we'll wait and see. If that fight doesn't come off next, then I want Conor Benn versus Michael McKinson. Both highly ranked, both British, both signed to Eddie Hearn. Easy fight to make.
Yeah.
Unless Eddie Hearn doesn't want to make the fight because he knows something about Conor that we don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, True School, Southpaw, is it okay? I mean, why are you telling me that? Tell him that. Go to his channel. He'll give you a whole. He'll go off. I mean, God bless Southpaw.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like Trevor Bryan is gonna pull off the upset. Listen, man, I'm not gonna say much about because I had a chance to watch him train today. I'm the only media member in boxing that saw Trevor Bryan train today.
That's great.
This guy is prepared. I'm not gonna say he's gonna win. I'm not gonna say he's gonna win or lose. I'm not having a prediction in the fight. I'm just gonna watch the fight. I'm gonna cover it, be professional. But he's prepared as prepared can be for this fight.
Well, you've seen him for the longest.
Yeah, like it's actually insane. Yeah. So, listen, lot going on in boxing. A lot to be excited about. But listen, guys, it's 1:30. We're about 5 minutes from 1:30 in the morning. I've got 6 interviews to edit, and then I gotta be up in like 9 hours. We're going to another gym to go watch a sparring session, which I will not speak on right now, but I will speak on in the next live. So stay tuned for that. But listen, guys, you guys take care. Keep supporting the channel. Make sure you guys go vote in the poll as to like which fight Pops will go live for, because I'm gonna be at Bryan versus Dubois covering that fight at the fight, and he's gonna be here going live. But we're having a hard time figuring out which fight to go live for because there's nothing really stands out. So we figured, you know what, we'll let the loyal viewers of True School Sports pick who we go live for, and we could be happy with our decision then. So
and like I said, whatever fight comes first, I'll watch that, and if there's any more time, I'll go to the
so go to the community post on my channel and go vote on the poll. And stay tuned for all the interviews and content because there's gonna be some dropping in the next couple of hours. So take care. God bless. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.